Hello, Bill Hernandez speaking.
Bill, Jeff Russell.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Bill, I'm good. How you doing, man? Sorry if I'm a little bit late there.
No worries, boss. You got a couple of minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I tell you what, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today. I'm Bill Hernandez.
Oh, no problem.
I'm the editor at rockbandreviews.com, and we're really looking forward to seeing you and the guys this Sunday, November 5th, at CB Smith Park for Rockfest 80s.
Right on. Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're looking forward to that one, too.
I tell you, all
Yeah,
this
that's
week
fun.
we've been having sunshine and 70-degree weather down here, so it's going to be perfect, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we've been having, it's either been freezing or boiling or anywhere in between. It's never been anything like just, comfortable.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to expose your shark fin down here.
Right on, man. Is this stage big?
Yeah, it's pretty big, man. I mean, look at the people you're sharing the stage with this weekend, man. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we just got a big backdrop, so that's what I was wondering. We hardly ever get to fly because it's like 40. It's like 20 by 40. So.
Yeah, you'll be able to fly it. I got the layout of the stage and the park and everything, and it's pretty large, man.
Well, that's cool. That'll be nice if we can use it. If not, hey, what the hell.
Well, hey, listen, I tell you what, we're here because we want to talk about you.
Oh,
So,
my favorite subject.
yeah, exactly. Why not? I mean, I want to ask you, looking back, like when you were a kid, when did you know you wanted to make music for a living?
Oh boy, this goes way back. This goes way back. Now back. Let me give you a little brief, interlude on this one.
Okay.
When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and that was my, everything I ever wanted to do. I wanted to go to Olduvai Gorge in Africa, and I wanted to dig up human remains, and I wanted to find dinosaurs that hadn't existed. I was just all about that.
Sure.
And then for my 6th birthday, my parents bought me an album called The Beatles' Health Album.
Oh yeah.
And I remember putting that record on, and it was a total spiritual experience. I mean, it was nothing short of, and I don't mean this to actually happen, but I mean, this is what it felt like to me. I mean, I felt like I was being talked to by, a force that was well beyond me.
Nice.
I call it God or whatever, and it basically told me that that's not what my life was going to be about. I was going to be a musician, and I need to forget about that and move on to this. So from that day forward, I stopped all thoughts of archaeology and everything else, and I just started working on becoming a musician.
Hmm.
And at 6 years old, that's a lot of information to impart to a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
And but I just kind of followed along, and my life just kind of went the way it did. And next thing you know, I was at the Forum playing it instead of watching concerts there. So, everything that was foretold came to pass. So that's why the album is called "He Saw It Coming," and that's where the title track comes from.
Nice, nice, man. It was meant to be.
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, I have no other explanation. I tried my hardest to screw everything up a million times, but, despite my trying to derail myself, on several occasions, I got picked up, brushed off, stuck back on the stage. So, thank God, and thank God for my fans and the people that, kept believing in me when I didn't believe in myself.
What was the first instrument you ever picked up?
Um, I have to say the guitar.
Yeah.
And it just was like I might as well have been picking up a harpsichord and trying to play with my ear.
Yes.
It's just I'm still baffled by people that can do that. As far as instruments go, I'm not really proficient at any of them. I can doodle on this, I can doodle on that, I can kind of get a couple ideas across, but like when I write music, I'll have to go to one of my guitar players and go, okay, go like this, go dun 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 dun. I'll have to figure that out. Whatever chords those, you can't really hum a chord, so you kind of gotta, keep humming them apart until they figure out the right chord.
Yeah.
So it works out well. I mean, it sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's slow, arduous work, but a lot of the times, like I've been working with my guitar player now long enough to where, I can hum him some and he knows exactly what I'm talking about, so it doesn't take a long time.
So, as a vocalist, your voice is also your instrument. Do you do anything to maintain your voice while you're on tour?
Oh, constantly.
Yeah.
I start warming my voice up 6 hours before we go on stage.
Wow.
In little increments, I start out real soft and gradually build up during the day, volume-wise and length-wise and different exercises. And it's like being a pro athlete, you know what I mean? I liken it to being a runner. You're not going to get up and just, okay, I'm going to go run a decathlon now, I'll be back later. You got to stretch out and stretch all your muscles out and make it nice and thin and then able to, put up with the rigors of what you're about to do.
Sure.
So for me, it's the voice is just a muscle, so you have to treat it as such. So you get out there and you start warming your voice up and you get it ready for the show, and then a little while later you warm it up some more, and by the time I go on stage, my voice is ready to go, and then when I get finished singing, I warm my voice down. So it's something I've been doing for 30-some years, and it seems to work.
Awesome, man. Yeah, your voice sounds fantastic these days live, so you must be doing something right.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I take a lot of pride in doing a good job. I want, the people that come see us, I want them to get their ears worth. They paid to hear what they got on the record. I don't want them to want to hear a bunch of excuses about how, I can't hit this note anymore, or, this song is a little different because we gotten older. It's like, hey, just do the best you can,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, God's been very good to me and letting me use this, the set of pipes he's given me.
Yes.
And, I think as long as I stay on the straight and narrow, he'll continue to let me borrow them,
That's right. Now, did you know when you got involved in the music business that you'd be celebrating 30 years in this business?
You know what? That's funny because it's actually no to the answer to that, but the answer is also it's not even 30 years. It's 30 years just since the release of the Once Bitten album, which is, if you're a hardcore fan, you'll know that's not our first album. That's actually our third album, our fourth record.
Yep.
So we put our first record out, and that got released on, major radio stations in 1982. It was called Out of the Night. It was an EP, a 4-song EP with 4 songs on each side. And some of those songs, ended up making it onto the first record. And, no, I never thought that far ahead. Yeah. I mean, at 56, when I'm like 20, 22 years old, 56 seemed like, Mount Everest to me. It's like 56, I'll be long gone by then. 56 was an old man.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking back and 56 ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it ain't shit, man.
No, I don't feel any younger. I don't feel any older than I did, when I was in my 20s. I mean, maybe physically, there's pains where there weren't pains before. I mean, I got hairs that hurt,
Yep.
But other than that, I feel really, really good. My voice feels good, and I'm able to get around, do my thing, and have fun, and the appreciation of it's still there. I still love being on stage. I still love seeing the fans smile and people singing our lyrics. And, what's really cool is now, you play these all-ages shows, you see your fan base go from, I've seen 8-year-old kids, wearing their T-shirts hanging down to their knees and singing all these old songs, and then their parents, and then their parents. So, you got 3 generations, and sometimes it's really quite astounding.
Now, how was it playing the songs from Once Bitten and doing those shows acoustically? Was it a nice departure from playing them the way you normally do?
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. The record we're still finishing it. When I know they had an advertisement out at one point saying the record was going to be out on January 14th, July 14th.
Yeah.
And that was incorrect. That was never supposed to have gone out that way. And that was an argument between me and my past management. And who I think expected us to be able to make a record, record it, put all the harmonies on it, mix it, master it, package it, and have ready to month. It wasn't realistic. So, for myself, I said, look, it's got to be quality. Absolutely. It can't be just rush it and get it out. And I was told, well, hey, just get it out there. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. It'll be fine. Your voice sounds great. I go, dude, it's not going to be fine, especially if it has my name on it.
Yep.
It's got to be better than fine. My fans are used to a particular, quality.
Yes.
And I'm not going to shortchange them just because somebody's in a hurry to get it out. So we just said, that was the one of the reasons that we decided to part ways, because we just weren't seeing things the same way.
Sure.
So we're still plugging away at it. It's almost finished, and it sounds brilliant. What's really cool about it is there were songs that I particularly thought that, wow, this is going to be a hard song to make into an acoustic song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like living on the edge. Well, what are you going to do with that? This bit, and some of the tougher songs that I thought would be really hard came out so beautiful on acoustic. It done that way. It's just amazing. It's a great record. The vocals are fantastic. The guitar works brilliant. Everything about it is what I want it to be. It's a tribute to a really wonderful album, and a tribute to the guys that put it together. That would be Mark, myself, Michael, Audie, Tony, and Lauren Black, who played bass on it, and Alan Niven, who's one of the producers, songwriters on the album. And it's a nice tribute to it, and I'm planning on doing the same thing on the Twice Shy album and the Hooked album.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it, and when that time comes, we'll push the hell out of this album, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. You're going to love it. There's going to be no regrets. I mean, it's really a beautiful record, and I'm not just saying that because everybody says it about their new albums. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's horrible, don't buy it, but I'm not going to tell you, it's a great, great record if I don't really feel it is,
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be out July 14th, 2018.
I hope this will come out before that. It'll be out before that. We're planning on probably early in the new year.
Awesome.
As soon as it's done, we're getting it out because it's been way too long. So.
Yeah. Now, in light of the situation in Manchester with the bombing and the Vegas shooting, when you take the stage now, do you do anything different? Do you approach anything differently, or?
I've been waiting for this day to happen for years, and I'm not like I've said I couldn't wait for it to happen.
Right.
What I mean is, I knew something like this was going to happen eventually. I mean, they've done everything else. They've done everything else. People with their large venues, large people gathering, and large people gather. And I was wondering when it was going to come down to some nut job, taking fire at a rock concert or a concert, period. Yeah. And it reminds me of that bell tower incident.
Yes. I remember that.
And was it William Whitman, or was that his name?
Oh, I don't remember his name, but I was just a kid.
I think it was the Texas Bell Tower, right? It was in Texas A&M or something like that.
Yes.
And he sat up there at his perch, and he just picked off people in the plaza. And, it reminded me of so much of that. And I'm like, man, where is all the hatred coming from,
Yeah.
I mean, where's all the hatred coming from? Especially when you think you take a very, very, very political thing as a rock concert, or a country concert, or whatever it is. It's music, man. Music isn't about that.
Yeah, and it brings all these. Yeah, and it brings all these people with all these political differences and views of different opinions, but it brings us all together, and we're enjoying this one thing that we have in common. you know. So what the
Right,
fuck?
right. It's just solidarity, you know. I mean, the music brings solidarity. I mean, you know, like you said, you could have a totally different point than I do about, you know, who's president or who should be, and but we can still sit there and rock out on listen to Zeppelin records or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
It is the one common denominator, you know, that brings us all together is music, you know. And you don't even have to like the kind of music I like, you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
We can still find a way to rock out to it, you know.
Yeah, it's like if you're in
Um,
traffic and somebody cuts you off, you know, you're going to give each other the finger or yell something out the window. But if you're at a concert and you're walking and your shoulder bumps into someone, they're like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Hey, dude, no problem, man." You know, music
yeah.
does something. You know.
It does. It was that old saying, calms the soothes the savage beast. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It does something to people. It is the language that transcends all languages. You know, I mean, there's something about the beauty of music and the freedom of that expression that we can all relate to, and it points to happier times and freedom and you know, I don't know, man. It's not making me afraid to go on stage. I mean, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
I just hope that, you know, people don't, you know, it's harsh, man. Like when I lost my friend Dimebag, you know?
Yep.
I mean, that was terrible. I mean, that guy was, you know, he was a big fan. He was a good friend, you know?
Yes.
And we went and played our Rosa Villa, and the carpet stain from his blood was still there. And I'm like,
Oh man.
can't you guys clean this up? Can't you guys cut it out
Yeah.
and, you know, put it in a plaque or something and memorialize it
Yeah.
or send it to the family or something? I mean, you don't want people walking all over it and putting duct tape on it, and it's just, man, you know, what a slap in the face to a great guy and
Absolutely. I
to a
agree.
guy that literally gave his all, you know?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. It's a crazy world, man. It's getting crazier every minute. I'm just hoping that, you know, we can find some peace somewhere, because it's, you know, I live on the ocean. I live on a boat, and I'm just sitting here on my back deck right now watching the, you know, the morning come into view here, and you know, it's sad. I mean, I used to come down and you see fish everywhere, and I know this seems off topic, but it isn't. When I get back, you'll understand what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You know, there was a survey they just did that said in the last 50 years, we have killed 54% of all the life in the oceans.
Yep. That's right.
In 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't understand the gravity of that. I mean, people think, oh, well, trees and plants and grass, they supply the oxygen. Well, let me enlighten you.
Yeah.
Plankton supply more oxygen than any of the trees and the plants and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, so if the ocean dies, we die.
That's right.
So, you know, from a harbor that used to be seething with life, I mean, I'd come down here, back in my boat, I'd see fish jumping everywhere. I haven't seen a fish in here in 2 years.
Wow.
You know, and it's really, really sad. You know, it just kind of shows, you know, things to come. You know,
Yeah,
I just hope that
and lately
we can
there's
find
something.
a way to pull it together. You know.
Yeah, well, the climate change too. I mean, look at the earthquakes in Mexico and these crazy hurricanes that we had this year. I mean, 2 Category 5s in a row. I mean, that is so unheard of, you know. And it was so powerful that we were watching the Bahamas and the islands down south of us, that the winds were so powerful, they were sucking the water out of the ocean. All you saw was nothing but sand where the ocean was, and then a couple hours later, it came back as the hurricane got further away. It was the most bizarre thing I ever saw in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. You know, people talk about, oh, there's no global warming; it's all a natural cycle.
Yep.
I say, well, you know, I can believe in natural cycles. Okay, yeah, you know, the poles are going to shift every 100,000 years or so. You know, south becomes north, north becomes south. That's a cycle.
Yep.
Now, you're going to tell me that what's going on now with all these freak storms, the glaciers all melting, the ice caps, didn't there a chunk of ice cap break off of Greenland or something
Yes.
the size of Delaware?
Yeah. You're talking about
It's gonna take
tsunamis.
12 years for it to melt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not normal. I'm sorry. When you say there's, Glacier National Park has got like just a little bit of a glacier left, that's not normal global warming. It's climate change, and the climate change is due to the fact that, we poked so many holes in our ozone layer, we're not protected by the magnetic field anymore.
Yeah.
People are getting sun cancer at, alarming rates. Ice caps are melting, the seas are rising. I mean, since I live on a boat, every year I can watch the high tide.
Yeah.
The highest tides of the year come at this certain part of the year, and you can see where they come up, and they used to come up below the walkway.
Yeah.
And now there's a part of the walkway right where the boats are that if you don't got hip waders, you cannot cross that part of the walkway.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much higher the ocean's got.
Yeah.
So, people that tell me any different, I just go, look, I see it. So, you can think what you want, whatever safe zone you want to feel you live in, I can see it. So, hang on and pray,
Get ready, it's coming.
Yeah, it's just scary. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, because I think mankind's got a long ways to go, but we've got to do some serious soul searching and some serious, some doing instead of talking,
Mm-hmm.
and enough politicking. We need some action,
Yes, absolutely.
And I wouldn't know where to start if I was in charge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Now, on a musical note, very interesting. When you guys are here this weekend, on the very same night, the other Great White is going to be here in Miami. How's your relationship with the members of of that band?
We really have no relationship.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's I wish them the best. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Mark Kendall since we started the band back in 1978 when I was 17. You can go on from there through various changes in history. Whoever wants to make them.
Yeah.
I know how it went. He knows how it went.
Yep.
But it's sad, because we were really, really close at one time, and I'm sorry that it came to this, and I really wish I could pick the phone up and call my friend just to call him.
And sometimes, you know what, that's all it takes, but it takes two to tango.
That does, and I don't think that quality, or not quality, but that so what I'm looking for. I can always find them when I'm looking for them. I don't think a desire resides in him, so,
Yeah.
We'll see. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen, and if I'd gladly welcome back in my life with open arms,
That would be awesome,
at,
man.
whatever level, whether we ever played again or not, that's a whole other story, but, I would love just to have his friendship, because he's one of my oldest friends.
Yeah, and that's not very much to ask for.
Together,
Yeah, and that's not much to ask for these days,
No, it isn't, man. Life's too short. You can't carry a grudge, I understand why they did what they did, or why they did what they felt like they had to do,
Sure.
And they need to understand why I did what I had to do,
Absolutely.
I couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't, I just wasn't happy. So, anyway.
On a lighter note, what's coming up for you in the future? You and Jack Russell's Great White.
Well, we've got, obviously more records coming out. We've got new singles coming out. We're working on some videos right now. We've got these acoustic records we're doing, which I can't say enough about. They're just mind-boggling. We've got into So Much Twice Shy, and that just sounds amazing. I might even want to put a Christmas album out. I've been threatening to do this for years.
Oh, man,
But
do it, dude.
I think I want to do that. Jack Russell's Great White Christmas, I think it'd be really cool. Have a rockin' record,
Yeah, while we're sitting on the beach down here and everybody's freezing their ass off, we can listen to it on the beach.
Yeah, right.
and look out at the great whites as they're swimming by. It'd be perfect.
Oh, man.
Listen, man, I want to thank you so much for your time and consideration and talking with us today. We're all set for both days of the Rockfest 80s, but we're really looking forward to seeing you and the boys play. And, yeah, we're stoked. We're psyched, man.
Right on, man. Who's on that bill with us?
Oh, God, I got to pull that up. But I believe it's Joan Jett, Little River Band, Foghat, Steelheart, and one or two others.
That's cool. Yeah, I thought there was a Skinner date.
Oh, Skinner is it? Skinner might actually be on your day. I don't have it in front of me, but Skinner is definitely here this weekend.
Yeah, that's great.
You guys are probably all in the same hotel anyway, so you'll bump into each other.
Yeah, I'm sure. What a great band. Joni's great too. She's fantastic.
Oh,
she's just a wonderful, wonderful lady. We just did a show with her a while back. It was just smoking.
Nice.
So yeah, the audience is definitely in for a treat. We will, leave no stone unturned musically as it's gonna be if you miss it, you're gonna be bummed because your friends will be telling you what a great show you missed.
For sure, for sure. Well, you can leave your beach chair where you're at right now, and you can come sit in ours over here this weekend.
That sounds great, man.
All right, awesome, man. Thanks again, and we have several of the bands, actually. We're going to provide some pick guards, and we're going to give them away on our website. Would your band like to participate in signing one?
Oh, I'd love to, absolutely.
All right, cool. I'll work it out.
Absolutely. Whatever we can do for you guys, you just let us know.
All right, we're going to meet a lot of the bands at the hotel, so I'll just give you a call Saturday, and we can go from there.
Sounds great.
All right, brother. Safe travels to you and the
right.
boys. God bless, and continued success with everything in your life.
Thank you, sir. I'm right back at you. I really appreciate your time, and thanks for the promoting the band. I can't say enough.
Always, man. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
All right. See you Saturday, brother.
God bless you, bro.
All right. Bye.